You can't tell, but behind these masks are smiles because we're so glad to have students back at Stonebridge, and we're so glad to be able to welcome you. So this evening is an opportunity to get to know your teacher, your child's teacher, a little bit better. It will be a way virtually to kind of explore their classroom and learn about what the learning is that's taking place in your child's classroom. Since you can't experience it physically, we're going to take you kind of on a virtual journey this evening into the classrooms so that you can get a better understanding of the rich and exciting things that your child is engaging with here at school. Another piece that's going to be shared by your classroom teacher is kind of understanding their timetable and how the program works and an overview of the program, because things are a little bit different this year than traditionally. We have fewer teachers because we want to limit the number of staff that are working with your students, and so it's a little bit of a different process this year, so we're going to explain that to you. We also want to give you tips on how to engage your child, and because we know that the relationship between parent and school, parent and child is very, very important for the success of students. We also will be sharing with you that we have a new math curriculum here in Ontario, and your classroom teacher will be highlighting how it's different, how it might be the same, but also there's some exciting new opportunities with the revised math curriculum that your child's going to engage with.
And so through the course of this year, you'll recognize that to start the year, but also throughout the course of the school year, we're going to continue our commitment to having a school-wide focus on racial justice. And so all of our classrooms and all of our staff received a copy of this book here titled Anti-Racist Baby. And so you'll be noticing a lot of rich work around anti-racist education as we strive to implement safe, welcoming, and inclusive environments for all of our learners.
We also want to highlight, because this is a very different year for us in education. It's been a very different year for all of us. 2020 has been a very challenging year, but we want to highlight just some of the pieces that are in place that we need your support with, but also that we're supporting your children with. In terms of physical distancing, we want to make sure that we're keeping 6 feet from each other. Our classes stay in cohorts, so they stay in their groups and they do not mix. And so this is what's referred to as cohorting. So it's really important to us that we dismiss students in their cohorts, that they come into the school in their cohorts, and when they're outside, for example, that they only stay in their cohort. And so that has been very different this year, but it's very, very important. Your children will be washing their hands on a regular basis, using hand sanitizer on a regular basis, because hand sanitizing is really, really essential for the success of us all being healthy here at school. Also, you'll notice, like Mr. Bansal and I, we're all wearing masks. So our students grade 4 to 8 are required to wear masks, and our little ones from kindergarten to grade 3, it's highly recommended. Most of our students, if not all of our students, are wearing their masks all the time. The only exception to the mask wearing is when our students go outside, and that's an option for your child to be able to take off their mask, and we have protocols in place for your child to take off their mask in their classroom, exit outside while socially distancing, and then wash their hands and then put their mask on when they come back in after morning or lunch recess. Your diligence with checking your child every single morning for symptoms of COVID-19, for example, nausea, headache, sore stomach, etc., is very, very important, because if your child demonstrates any of those symptoms at home, there's a protocol that we have to follow and your child will be sent home. So it's really important for the safety of your child and others and the staff here at Stonebridge that you do that screening every single day. And if you do have any of those symptoms, please keep your child home and follow the guidance that we've shared with you via EDSB and through York Region Public Health. We also want to remind our students that we're not going home at lunchtime, and we're not receiving anything. Water bottles, shoes, backpacks that were forgot, none of those things can be dropped off at the school. So it's really important that your child arrive with their lunch, and arrive with all the things that they need. So we have to be really, really careful when we're preparing for the school day that we put all those things together so we don't forget anything. We want to remind you that our next school council is on December 7th, and so details about this will be in our November newsletter. And we want to let you know that these meetings are taking place virtually. We're not able to do them face-to-face, but that doesn't mean that we can't connect online and continue our work as a school council. We want to remind you to check EDSB on a regular basis for details. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Mr. Bonsall, and of course our office staff are more than happy to help you. We also want to remind you to check our Twitter feed. It's at Stonebridge PS, because every single day we post the work that is happening here in school, our reflections on our work around anti-racist education, pictures of our students playing outside, work happening in the classroom. So that's really the best way for you to stay in touch with the work that we're doing. We thank you very much for your partnership. We value your partnership and your commitment to the work that we're doing here at the school. We wish you all the best. Enjoy curriculum night.